Trump. This video is things you need to know about our fearless leader, Diaper Don Taco. Number one, he's a third-generation pimp. His grandpa, Freddie the First, we'll call him, fled Germany to avoid having to serve in the military. Came to New York, couldn't make it, so he wound up in Seattle after a few years, running a restaurant and a whorehouse down in the red light district. And after that, he was at some silver mining camp and doing the same thing. But then when the Klondike Gold Rush took off, he went to Bennett Lake, Yukon Territory, and opened up the Arctic Restaurant and Hotel. Now you can read about that in Gwenda Blair's book on the Trumps. And there are several videos at YouTube that you can look at. One from Canadiana, which shows you a few pictures of the area. Now, Freddie the First was there in Bennett Lake for a few years, and then Sergeant Preston of the Yukon got on him, and he and his partner Levin dismantled the restaurant, whorehouse, and floated down the Yukon River to Whitehorse, where they opened up the new Arctic Restaurant and Hotel. When Levin seemed to be a drunk and got into trouble, and so Freddie the First up stakes and went back to New York. He tried to go back to Germany and get back in there because he didn't feel at home, I guess, in New York, and they didn't want him, so he had to come back to New York, and that's where he started up his real estate business. He did pretty good. He came back from the Yukon with about what would be considered about $500,000 today. Freddie the Second, Diaper Don's dad, was a second-generation pimp. He pimped for New York politicians and mobsters and Kabad Lubavitch. And he was a pretty good success. He was I think he was a slumlord myself, but supposedly he was renting out to a lot of Pharisee and Judeo-Pharisee renters in New York. And then there's pimp number three, Diaper Don Taco, raised by his dad to be a, quote, king and, quote, killer. And he pimped for anybody with money. Russian mobsters, the Rothschild bailed him out of one situation, politicians in New York, Epstein, and so on. He was Roy Cohn's bitch for years. And you can look up Roy Cohn. He was a powerhouse in New York. Homosexual. Which brings us to him and Diaper Don, the bitch. Because Trump has never mentioned him that I've seen on recent TV or YouTube or the news anywhere. So he was Cohn's bitch for years, and that raises questions because old Diaper Don gives off homosexual gay vibes. He talks about Arnold Palmer's dick one time. I saw. Looked like he was giving a blowjob to a microphone one time on one video I saw. And he doesn't seem to have any kind of respect for women at all. Just grab 'em by the pussy. And own a teen pageant so you can eye all the young naked teens you want as owner. You know, you're inspecting the premises and all that, you pervert. But anyway, what we want to know is, did Roy Cohn get your cherry? How big was Roy's dick? Did Roy's dick ruin your anal sphincter, which is why you wear diapers today? Or maybe his fist? You can tell us. We ain't gonna tell nobody. So, are you in fact a gay homosexual pervert pretending to be a man? Can we believe anything that comes out of your mouth? So far, most everything that I've seen you say has been a lie. Now, most everything I've read about you or seen about you on the internet, on the news, leads me to believe that you are a stable retard, not any sort of genius, whatever. Most anybody around that has been close to you knows you can't read very well. I've heard 4th grade level. And your old buddy Epstein, I saw on a video saying that you were a functional illiterate and could not even read a balance sheet. And then there's that video of you in the Oval Office talking about the Declaration of Independence as an expression of union, love, and respect. I'll give you F- on that one, pal. You don't have a clue. So, you're a stable retard, all right, an ignoramus, the likes of which the world has never seen. One professor even called you the dumbest student I ever had. Now, that probably accounts for all the bankruptcies and the felony convictions, right? You're just dumber than a box of rocks, like one man called you. Your pa raised you to be a king, quotes, and a killer, quotes, I read. You are a king. I concur completely. And I crown thee, Sadim Fisi the First, your most excellent wonderfulness. Yes, and you are in fact the chosen one, chosen by Satan Lucifer himself, held to the chief. Now we know you fit all the branches of the global cartel. You're a Pharisee, you're a relative of King Haakon VI of Norway, and a relative of Queen Margarita II of Denmark. So that satisfies the royalty part. And you spent 2 years at Fordham, which is a Jesuit school, so you ticked all the boxes there because you are a Pharisee. So, tell us though, while we're at it, who took all your exams for you in school? How much did you have to pay? And is that why you will not release any of your marks? Oh, and another question about you. Since you became King Sadim the Fisi, the first, who is now your Lord Chamberlain? And what brand of diapers do you wear? Have you begun your own diaper line yet? Seems like a perfect idea to me. Oh, Sadim? Oh, that means, that's Midas spelled backward. since you've mastered the reverse Midas touch like no one else in the history of the universes. Everything you touch turns to shit. So, way to go, dude. And like the old man says, todos illegitimos carborundum. You to scam. Bye.